Hi, welcome to my show. Today, my guest is Luke Castle. He's the president of the Royal Starr Arts Institute. And while I have never met him in person, however, I've known about the Royal Starr Arts Institute for a while because I've been trying to get to you guys' mixer,
It's a
squeezing it
good
into
place to
my
come out to.
schedule. So, looks like now I'm probably getting closer to coming there.
Good.
So it looks like you guys are very active, but before we get into the what you guys are doing these days, because I see that you have a monthly mixer and there's a festival coming up. But tell us a little bit about how this nonprofit organization started, why it started, and we'll go from there.
It started as a couple guys wanted to create a film festival in the Royal Oak area. And those guys then originally reached out to me after, I don't know how long it was. It was probably almost a year and a half. And they were trying to pull together a film festival. And they said, oh, go talk to Luke. And I ended up coming on board. And I had all these big ideas because I come from the film festival world previously. And 18 months later, we had our very first Royal Starr Film Festival at Imagine Theaters in Royal Oak.
What year was that?
Oh, God, I don't even know.
You know, that long.
It's 5
That's
years
good.
ago, 5 or 6 years
Okay.
ago. We're in our 5th year now. So this is our
Okay,
5th
great.
Year.
Well, that's good. That's a great
So
accomplishment.
2015, I think? 2015, 2016?
Well,
like that.
and also, let's go back a little bit before that. So the reason they came up to you is because
The reason why they came up to me, well, so our
your
treasurer.
background a little bit.
Yeah, so my background is film. I'm a filmmaker. But when I got out of college, I was trying to network with people back up here in the Michigan area when I decided to move home. And I figured the best way probably to do that is to hang out with film people. And I was thinking, where do film people hang out? I'm like, well, film festivals make sense, right? This was all what I was thinking back in the day. And I started to volunteer for a film festival called the Detroit Windsor International Film Festival, which was happening, I don't know, probably in 08, 09 era.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of fell in love with the event of putting on film.
Mm-hmm.
I was always in events before then because I had helped plan out events in college. So this just was a natural progression of what I did.
Well, and what kind of activities you guys have? So I had noticed from before, I think it seems like was one of the first things that you guys did was the mixer, the monthly mixer, or did you guys start off with the festival?
Festival. So the way it started was the guys wanted to create a festival, which was cool. I knew festivals, so we did. It was a 2-day festival, and it was a lot of fun. That was 2016. As it progressed, we tried to build on it every year, which is something we still do. Almost in everything that we do, I'm going to take that back. In everything that we do, we're always trying to build it better every single year. I think that's what makes us really well, is that each year we start all over again sometimes just to see how much bigger we can make it or better. So we're going into our 5th year, and now we're a 10-day festival. So we went from
10-day.
Yeah.
And
Within 5 years, we did that.
Okay, and how do you manage that? I'm curious. Like, what's the setup for that? And also, if you can tell people, filmmakers who want to participate or send in their films, what's the deadline?
Sure.
Other information. Where
So
can they find you guys?
the setup for that is when we wrap the festival, we have like a week off, and then we start again. So it takes all year to put on this.
That makes sense.
Right? Like for us, this doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
We have to watch movies. There's over 400 films submitted every single year from all around the world. There's planning that gets involved. We have to do parties. We have to figure out hotel rooms. So yeah, it's a labor of love, right? It's a film festival, and we're trying to make it bigger, better, more fun, more enjoyable. So that's something that it's a struggle every single year. I'm not gonna lie, but it's fun, and you get to do that with cool people.
When is the upcoming deadline?
I don't know. So usually
in
about
May?
the end. Yeah, it's usually like what is this, February? So I think we just had one that passed.
Mm-hmm.
It's either the 15th, which is today when we're filming. I don't know when this goes out,
Mm-hmm.
or it's at the end of the month. But the final deadline is at the end of March. And you can find out more about this.
Actually, yeah. Oh, so there's
Sorry,
different, right.
the final deadline's at the end of May.
The end of May. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, this will air before that. So there's like a different,
Perfect.
like early deadline.
So you can find out more about that at filmfreeway.com/Royal Starr Film Festival.
Yeah.
If you don't remember that, you can always go to our website, which is royalstar.org. Star is spelled with 2 R's.
Yes. And like I said, when you came in, I really like your shirt. You said
Thank
that
you.
you have a lot. That's a very cool shirt. Now, is this still is that the new logo?
That's
or is that the
that's
same?
the old one.
That's still
We
the old one?
redesigned for this year. Going into our 5th year, I was like, I want a fresh, like I said, bigger, better, more fun.
Okay.
We wanted a fresh look, and we wanted all of our logos, because each one of our programs sort of has a logo, and we wanted to be able to tie them all together. So this was our old logo, which was fun, and it served its purpose. But as we move forward, I wanted to go with a more modern look.
Okay.
So we redesigned it this year, and the poster for the film festival should be coming out here in the next couple weeks.
Oh, cool. Okay, which is the show is going to be around 2-3 weeks from now.
Perfect.
So, and I do have a cool video that you guys sent that I want viewers to see.
Oh no, what video?
They didn't even tell you.
No, I wasn't prepped for this.
Well, that's okay. I hope there's nothing negative on there.
Oh, there's
about
never
you.
negative.
Right.
We make a lot of goofy
Okay.
videos. We have a lot of fun doing what we do.
Okay, that's good. Oh, this is.
That needs to be updated too, because some of those people aren't with
You know
us.
what? It doesn't. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we got the video. Maybe
What was the video?
it was the video. I think about your organization. What happened? We were having a hard time downloading it. So, is it on your website?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can get it on the website. You can get it on the YouTubes.
Okay.
The
so
YouTubes.
everybody
Yeah.
now has to visit their website. What's the link to your website again?
Royalstar.org. That's Royal Star with 2 R's .org.
And so when this comes out, I will publish it on my website, and I will
Cool.
include the video inside there. So
I
you
don't know
guys
what
are gonna
video
have
it is,
to,
so-
yeah, I think maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it needs your approval first. That's why.
No, I mean,
But
I'm
yeah,
in
when
almost every one
when
of
I
them.
post the blog post, I will put it in there for sure. So everybody has to visit my blog post as well. So
There you
because
go.
this will go on YouTube and stuff eventually.
what's your website?
weamnemu.com. It's very
Nemu.com. Very cool.
yeah, weamnemu. Where do you guys see? What's your vision about where do you want to take this?
Well-
I know. I mean, you guys have done a great work within 5 years. So
So we
what's
started
the
off as a
plan?
film festival,
Yeah.
right? And we wanted to get that to a place where we felt, how do I say this, confident in expanding. And I think we've expanded every single year. We had to get to 10 days, right? And that was to connect filmmakers with just the normal filmmaking or film going community that wants to watch films, right? The next thing I wanted to attack. So I became the president 2.5 years ago. I was elected president. And one of the first things that I wanted to do is how do we serve filmmakers? And we started a program called the Monthly Filmmaker Community Mixer, which is what you're familiar with. It started at Imagine. We outgrew Imagine. Then it went over to Hamlin Corner. And then late last year, we outgrew that, and we moved into Fifth Avenue, which should be plenty big enough. It's 2 floors. I think it's about 600 people it can hold. And now we're there for the rest of the year. So the second Tuesday of every month, with the exception of December, because we need a day. We need 1 month off. Right?
You need to enjoy the holidays.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay.
We have a mixer, and it comes down to this. This is what the mixer is. If you want to be involved in film, if you want to be an actor, if you want to compose music, if you want to direct, if you want to point a camera, if you want to run and get coffee, whatever you want to do in film, if you have a script that you want to pitch, this is the place you want to come in the Michigan community. We're about 150 to 200 people show up every month, and in the summer it gets really high. It gets up to 300 something people, and they come together to talk about their projects and just network, have a drink, play pool, have some food, and enjoy each other's company that have interest. And it's a lot of fun, and it's free. It's absolutely free to get in. We ask people to register online so we know who's going to be there. But yeah, it's absolutely free to come to. That's what we built, and it started off small, and it's just going like gangbusters, and it continues to build on itself every single month. And I'm really impressed on what it became.
Well, I am too, given what you're describing. I mean, that's a big deal. Even from the first time that I read about it, it was on Facebook that I found out about it. And I thought, wow, what a great idea, because I myself am a filmmaker. Because of my schedule and my kids, I was taking care of my mom for like 5 years up until last February. So it was very hard for me to get out there. But whenever I saw it, it was very inspirational that something like that was going on in the community, because well, we're lucky enough with all the digital stuff going on, and even with the way Hollywood is today, it's not the same as before. You don't have to be living in a certain way to be able to make films. You don't have to, to become famous at it, and, to become very successful at
Well,
it. So
I don't think you ever had to live in a certain way.
in a certain place. No, in a certain
Yeah,
region,
you're right. You had to live in L.A.
Right.
in
There
the
was
old
more
days.
of a sense of
Absolutely.
like you had to, in order to make that kind of connection.
Yeah.
Because like any profession, hanging out, being with people that are in the same industry, it matters. Some of the people that that were even one of the person that I work with right now was my teacher at MPI.
Yeah.
And
Doug?
no, it's Stan Williams. Do you
Okay.
know? Yeah, this was a long time ago.
Okay.
So he was, now we're working on a film together, but based on like that connection was very important, because even when it came time for me to like reach out, I just felt like, well, I really don't know that many people, but the few people that I did connect with, and you don't have to connect with everybody. So there was, in the whole school and everything, there was a couple of people that were very helpful in helping me with my script or trying to move forward. So it does help when you connect. If nothing else, it also motivates you and inspires you.
Well, yeah, we're an industry of relationships, right? I mean, you're not going to get a job unless you're forming relationships. Normally, in this industry, you don't just submit your resume and hope you get a job. That's just not how we work. I mean, I'm sure there's incidents where that happens, but usually you have to know somebody that says, no, he's going to be cool on set. Well, I'd love to work with that person. And that's helpful. And it's just how it is. And sort of how do we remedy that? I don't necessarily didn't want to fix it. I just wanted to make it easier for us to meet, right? Facebook is great. It's a great place to talk about some stuff online, but we don't make movies online. We make them in the real world, right? And we need to meet in the real world because we have to work with each other in the real world. So we created a real world solution by finding a common place for everybody to meet up at a common time. That's always the same time. It's always the same time of the month. It's the second Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And it's at the same place, too. It's at 5th Avenue.
Now, have you guys ever thought of doing a project together as
What do you mean?
Well, just
Doing a film?
Yeah, like is that something that you have?
No,
guys
not for the
considered?
festival. No, there's no reason for us to.
Like through the nonprofit.
No.
No.
No,
just
it's
the
not.
focus is the
No,
festival.
yeah.
and the
So
getting
this
together.
is what we run into. Our job is not to make film. Do we make film? Yeah, we're filmmakers that make our own films. But your car doesn't go in the water to drive around and be a submarine, right? We created, when you're creating a business, you create it for an intended purpose. When we created a nonprofit, we had a mission, and that mission wasn't to be filmmakers, it was to celebrate filmmakers, right? So this car is for driving. It's not here to be a boat or something else, if that makes sense. So that's something that we go back to, is like, what is our mission? How do we help filmmakers? And our mission is pretty much summarizes is community education and events, and those are the things that we focus on. Do we make little projects? Yeah, we have to make a commercial. We have to make 2 or 3 commercials a year, and we partner with different volunteers in the community to do those. So there is stuff that we have to make because it's part of the organization, but it's not the purpose of it. So for the last few years, we've partnered with a studio called Clean Slate Productions, and they've been wonderful. They make the 2 policy trailers we do for the festival every single year, and they've been fun to work with, and it's a lot of fun because I have to do them. We get up real early in the morning. We go into Imagine Theaters with Paul Glantz, who's the owner of Imagine Theaters, and we shoot these little goofy films that show before every film at the festival. It's a little commercial that explains to turn off your phones and stuff like that. We try to
Right.
make it fun.
Well, it does sound like you guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it is
yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
And so, based on your experience and having all these years of the networking of, the mixer, and even the festivals, so some advice that you would give filmmakers, especially like beginning filmmakers, because this is not such an easy field, and you even said it yourself. When you finish the festival, you take a week off, and then you're back to work, to prepare for the whole year. A lot of creative ventures, this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what advice would you give somebody starting out or trying to break into the business, or what would you say to somebody like that?
Network. That's all it is. If you're starting off, whether you like it or not, it's who you know. It is completely who you know. It's not a bad thing, because you can know anybody. We live in the world of LinkedIn and Facebook and email and text messaging, and there's so many ways to introduce yourself. And now there's a mixer, right? And it's who you know. We've tried to bring down some of the gates that were keeping people out, and I feel like we did a really good job in that. It depends on what your intent is in the industry. Mm-hmm. If your intent is to create, you can do that. You can go and meet people that'll do that with you. If your intent is to be the next Steven Spielberg or whoever, that's a harder sell. I would question your intent in our industry then. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, you don't go into art to be somebody else in art. Mm. You go into art because you're a creator. Okay. So if you're going into art to be somebody other than yourself, then you start to have to question yourself and why you're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And I've gotten pretty good at looking at people and seeing what their intention in our art form is. If you're going, like I said, if you're going into art to be somebody else, not necessarily the best thing, in my opinion. But if you're going into art because you're a creator and you have all these great ideas in your mind and you want to explore them, whether that be on canvas or if it's on, in film or, in sculpture, that's an artist. That's whatever you create at that point, whatever your product is art. Yeah. If your product is something to serve you, like, because you want to be somebody, and that's a hard sell for me. Like, it's not as pure.
And something that I noticed before, I don't know if you have something similar to this nowadays or not, but this was in the beginning when I first saw it, and I really don't recall when I first saw the mixers were going on. But you guys used to bring speakers. Do you do anything like that? You don't do that anymore?
No, we don't do that anymore. It's something we experimented with, and we realized that's a different thing, and we have a place for that. But during a mixer event, you're there trying to talk to each other and to stop the event of all these people that are there to talk about one thing that maybe not everybody's interested in, and then they have to be quiet, sort of slows down the event. And like I said, getting good at the mixer thing was just trial and error. Like, we had to have an idea, we'd see if it worked. If it didn't work, we moved on and left that idea somewhere else or reinvented that idea as something else.
But you said you kind of do something like,
do
you offer workshops and things like
yes,
that
we
for
do.
people? You do, okay.
So every year since the first year, we have something called Fan Me, which is the Film and New Media Expo. It happens during the film festival. It'll be happening this year too. And what happens is we have a bunch of workshops. This year they're going to be $5 each, unless you're a member of the Royal Starr Arts Institute, which is $35 a year. Or $135 if you're a business. For more information on that, you can go to royalstar.org, or you can come to a mixer and talk to somebody at one of our tables. We have some Royal Starr staff talking to people about what the membership is. Membership helps us do all this stuff because it's not free for us. It's just free for you guys.
And everything that you're just saying is like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
You guys are running a business as a nonprofit for for nothing. And
pocket change mostly.
Yeah, exactly. But so these workshops, so the part of the 10 days, so this is getting very interesting. So part of the festival in the 10 days, there are workshops for filmmakers.
Yeah, we've had producers and script writers and
local mostly?
Yeah,
Or different? It varies.
it varies.
It varies.
This year we're going to be reaching out even more to get outer towners. Like I said, it's expensive to bring out of town people, right?
Of course, yeah.
So if I get the funds, I can do it. Last
Yeah.
year we had Doug Hutchinson. If you know who Doug Hutchinson is the guy from the bad guy from the Green Mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Percy.
So that was very costly for you guys.
No, not at all. He's a buddy of mine. And we're just like, hey,
Oh, so you guys got lucky with him. Okay.
would you mind like doing this thing?
Do me a
And
favor.
he's like, yeah, no. He says like, that'd be so cool.
Right.
So he came in and he did this thing.
Well, that's so exciting
He did
for people who would be attending.
an acting
I mean,
seminar / workshop, and we even had to put him in one of the theaters instead of one of the classrooms
wow.
because he filled a theater instead of a smaller classroom.
I mean, this is an enormous
Yes.
service you guys are providing
It's
for
a
people.
big job.
And for me, again, like now I'm even understanding it better. Even there are some times that I'll be needing something like this happened to me when I was trying to finish my feature documentary. I got stuck in one area. It was literally like 90% complete. And my editor couldn't like complete it because he had all these other things. So I was ready to move and, find a different editor. I'm like, where do I go for something like that? Well, I called MPI. We went through a few people until I did find somebody. But at that point, it was one of the experiences that I realized I really need to be more connected within the community so I can understand what's out there. Thank God, like I did find the right person that helped me, but it was through my film school. So it was through a connection. It was, I didn't literally go to network with them,
Yeah.
but it was because I contacted Catherine and she was able to connect me to the right person. But now as I go more into film, now I see other things that are necessary. That again, it's like, well,
Excuse me.
when you're in the right environment and you connect with people, sometimes it gives you ideas that you didn't even, or solutions you didn't even think about.
Absolutely.
That's another factor too,
Yeah.
when you hear experts, or they don't even have to be experts, just somebody that has a passion for that area. They might know, usually they know a lot more than you do. You can share so much.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why we did it. Like,
Yeah.
I understood that it was about who you're meeting a long time ago when I started out in this industry. And I'm not one to hoard things. So, like, I was like, this is how we're going to do it. And I created an event with my friends, and, now it is what it is. It's sort of become the center of the Michigan film industry here now. This is a place we come to
That's
meet and have a
awesome.
drink, and we can do it
Yeah.
every month, and it's consistent
And
and
I
it's
like
reliable.
your location. It's very central, like where people,
Yep.
you're giving everybody access so nobody can complain about anything.
696
No,
and 75. I mean, how easier can it be?
No excuse, right?
It's not downtown.
No
It's not
excuse.
expensive parking. It's free to get into.
Exactly.
So
I
when
know.
people say, I want to get into the industry, I always ask them, well, have you been to the Mixer? Do you know about
Yeah.
the Royal Starr stuff? I get that I'm pitching my thing, but even if
It's a good thing.
even if I wasn't a part of this, I'd be like, this is where you need to be going
Yeah.
because this is where everybody
It's
is.
very cool. Yes, yes. And so usually you have, you said it's in the fall. Is it usually in
The
October?
festival or
yeah,
the Mixer?
festival.
Yeah, the film festival is September 10th through the 20th.
Oh, okay.
That's when it's happening.
Okay.
Um,
And people can, so say like in my case, and I want to like do just come certain days. It's just depends on what you register for and stuff like that. Or
yeah,
if
so
you
the
want
weekends are where the films are.
Mhm.
So like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be the films, and then during the week is the workshops and all the other stuff that we have going on.
Okay.
So that's sort of how we build it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds very exciting. I mean, I will get there some of the days for sure. I'd love
Great.
to be involved with some of the workshops that you guys have. And anything else that you want to add? We have just a few minutes here left. Just any last words that you want to add, whether it's about the festival, your organization, or
yeah.
about for filmmakers,
Yeah, so a couple things. We are completely volunteer ran. Like everybody, even up to me. I'm the president and I'm a
You guys are, like,
volunteer.
super cool.
None of us, at the moment, none of us absolutely don't get paid right now. We just do this because it's fun and we're a big group of friends, and we didn't start off as friends. We're just like, oh, that person wants to be our friend too. Let's do this with them also. So that's what it became. and then we all do this thing called the Mixer, and we all do this thing called Fan Me or the Royal Starr thing, and we hang out outside of all these things too. So it's work, and we have to meet every week to keep it going. Like it's a whole other thing. We don't get to take a day off, you know.
But do you feel like this helps? Well, just because I was vice president of Detroit Working Writers up until my term ended in, I think it was May of last year. And then I was selected also ambassador for the Authors Guild of America.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. And because they started different chapters. I was already a member with them because they're based in New York. But then when they started, I think it started with 7 cities. I don't know if I'm wrong, but one of them was Detroit. The thing about that is, sometimes people are like, "Oh, this is a lot of work," but it feeds me. I feel as a writer that when I'm connected in that kind of community, although it's like, yes, we are serving a community and we do workshops to help teach people about the writing process and the publishing process and stuff, but at the same time, it feeds my creativity. So, do you feel that by being of such service, I mean, that's a lot that you guys do.
What are you asking me? Why I do this?
Yeah, are you crazy or something?
No, I'm definitely crazy. I'm totally 100%. Like, if I get this question out, like why do you actually do this? Like, what are you benefiting from it? There's so many answers I've had to that, and it's changed over the years. I like it. This is what I'm good at. I make films too. This doesn't necessarily build my film any more than anybody else does, like, because I'd rather somebody else make something because I'm already making something. So what I benefit from it, or why I do it, I enjoy it. This is something I've been able to be a part of, and I built it up, and I'm proud of it. I know it's helping out people that enjoy the things that I enjoy. And it's cool. I think Michigan film needs this kind of centerpiece for us to come together. Somebody has to do it. That was a conversation between me and one of the board members is Corey Milton, who is, I would say, is the sculptor of the Mixer that we have now. Somebody had to do it, and a lot of people tried. But Corey and I came from the podcasting world, just like this, and we found out what made us successful in that, and we just sort of took those values and applied it to everything else that we do. And one of those values is be consistent and reliable. Like, every month we're going to have this. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it 110%. We're going to do it we're going to go above and beyond. We're going to lower the bar for people to get involved. It's expensive to be in our industry. You have to buy cameras, you have to get headshots. So one of the things we did is we came up with a $20 headshot. So if you're an actor just starting off, or if you just need a headshot and you've been around forever, you can come to the Mixer and get a $20 headshot instead of paying hundreds of dollars. And we negotiate these with headshot photographers because they're happy to do it, because they're going to get repeat business, and they know it, and they have, and that's why they keep coming back.
So I gotta say, so Luke asked me, what kind of people do you interview on this show? And I said, well, I interview people that are doing great things in the world that need to be highlighted. And then he said, yeah, and because there's so much negativity out there, and the people that are doing negative things, I don't know why their camera is always going on them. He's like, well, yeah, because we're too busy, to deal with that. And everything that you just said describes why I do this show, is because wonderful people like you who have a big heart, and they're very, very talented and are just giving so much. But the second, normally I don't go to the second, but thank you so much for coming on my show. And you know what? I will see you at the festival and at the Mixer, one of the Mixers.
Cool.
I'm going to make it.
Okay,
I'm going to make it.